The Teenage Mutant Karate Turtles have done it again! Alright! I feel like we should say something. Like what? I don't know. Cowabunga? Cowabunga? What is this, the 80s? Yeah, you're right. Let's say that was lit. Alright. Let's get into it. Hey movie fans, welcome back. I'm Matt, and today we're discussing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Now, like most of you out there, the Turtles were a staple of my childhood, and even though somehow I continue to get older, I'll never stop going back to watch a brand new adventure with them. The film is directed and written in part by Jeff Rowe, along with Seth Rogen. Yes, that's Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, and quite a few other writers as well. Now, this isn't always the case, but normally when I see that many hands involved in the writing process, it tends to worry me a little bit. Normally, that tells me that the script needs a lot of working on, and most of the time you can feel that within the movie, and we'll get to that in just a bit. In this iteration of the Turtle Saga, the boys have been sheltered from the human world, but they decide to set out to win the hearts of New Yorkers and be accepted as normal teenagers. Their new friend April O'Neil helps them take on a mysterious crime syndicate, but they soon get in over their heads when an army of mutants is unleashed upon them. Now, if you've seen the trailers, you'll probably notice that the animation style is a bit different than your normal animated film. And guess what? It's awesome. The film is clearly inspired in more ways than one by Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and I'm all for it. We're starting to witness a new era of animation that is pushing boundaries and creating truly visually stunning experiences. The film's visuals come across like sketch drawings from a notebook or concept art, and it translates onto the screen really well, and it really gives us as the viewer a unique visual art style to engage with. Whether it's the vibrant colors or the dynamic movements or the seamless blending of different styles, it all just really elevates the whole movie. Seriously, the art just kicks ass in this movie, and it's so awesome to see filmmakers and visual artists really changing the way that art is done in movies today. Now, I brought up a possible concern earlier about the writing, but I'm happy to say that the writing in this film is sharp and really quick, and it leads to a genuinely funny movie. The humor isn't forced, and though it may sometimes feel a bit repetitive, it flows real naturally through the interactions between the turtles and the situations they find themselves in. And speaking of the turtles, the chemistry among the four turtles is great. These aren't just actors playing turtles, playing teenagers. It's turtles who are actually voiced by actual teenagers, and their authenticity really does shine through. And because of this makes their interactions really relatable and engaging the whole film. Also, this movie has an impressive list of big-name talent lending their voices to the film, some of whom you're going to be able to figure out who they are really quickly. Seth Rogen. And back to the writing, it's clear that a solid foundation has now been laid for potential sequels, and the origin story is new for this iteration. Don't freak out, the ooze is still in it. The story is well thought out enough that it leaves enough breadcrumbs to keep us intrigued about what's to come next. There is a mid-credits scene, so don't be running out of the theater all too quick. Now, the movie clearly takes place in today's modern society, but the film relies on a bit of nostalgia from the 80s and the 90s. The 80s nostalgia bits make a whole lot of sense in terms of the story and how they're used, but the 90s nostalgia is almost solely relied on the music. While I have no complaints about the music itself, its use feels completely out of place and disconnected from the film's contemporary setting. It's always great to hear these tracks from my childhood, but it's as if they're there just to cater to an older audience without a clear thematic link. It's just weird. Now, I know a lot of people feel this way, but my favorite turtle has always been Michelangelo. But I couldn't help but notice that his character seems a bit different than his usual self. Typically known as the party dude, he comes across as a bit more reserved and even wiser at times than his fellow turtles. He has a dude moment, no doubt, but the overall shift is a little unexpected. What I'm trying to say is that the essence of each turtle is no doubt there, but Michelangelo feels a little more off than the other turtles. I mean, it's even more perplexing that he doesn't even get to ride a skateboard in this despite showing him on a poster with it. That role is given to someone else, and it's just weird. Another aspect that left me a bit puzzled was the underuse of the ninja skills. Or the word ninja for that matter. That's why I called them karate turtles at the beginning of this review. Hopefully that makes more sense now. Don't get me wrong, we do get to see them use these skills they've learned in action during the first half of the film. But after that, all of those skills somewhat take a back seat. In fact, the turtles themselves kind of take a back seat during the whole third act. They don't do a whole lot, which is really strange. Now, the overall threat of the film is different than we've seen before on screen or in any other turtle film, so that could be the reason, but it feels like their roles got diminished just when you'd expect them to shine the brightest. Overall, I kind of feel like the whole third act doesn't quite live up to the energy and the engagement of the earlier parts of the film. But hey, did I have fun watching this movie? 100%. Is it the best turtle film ever? My heart still lies with the original live-action version, probably more for nostalgia's sake. But I can say that this is the best modern version of the Ninja Turtles we've ever had on screen. So in the end, I still would recommend this film to anyone who's a fan of the Turtle franchise. Or pretty much anyone for that matter. This is a fun movie. And though I prefer my viewing experience to be at a movie theater, I'm not sure that I would tell you that you need to make sure you run out and see this tomorrow. But I think at some point you should see this movie. As always, I encourage you to watch the film for yourself and form your own opinion though. Let me know about it down in the comments below and have your voices heard. Also, if you enjoyed this review, please like this video and subscribe to my channel to get a new movie review from me every week. Next week, we're now in the dead heat of summer and it's time to get back into the water with The Meg 2. The first movie's terrible, but I love it. And when I initially saw that The Meg 2 came out with 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, I knew one thing: this was going to be the best summer movie ever. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys at the theater next week.